Hey guys, how are you? So I've been slacking off. I'm sorry. Right now I'm in Utrecht, in Holland, and so this Saturday, Sunday, I'm about to start the first seminar in Europe. So I'm really excited. It's a beautiful place. Like everybody, we're in the center. Everybody's on bicycles here. There are very little cars. The food is really great. There's a river running through the town and everything. Utrecht is beautiful. I love this place. Everybody is great. We have to we're going to create like a corporation in Europe, and I think it's going to be based here, honestly. So far I have plenty of other stuff in Europe, so who knows, but I have to say so far it's a perfect start for Europe. It's a beautiful place. So I've been slacking off, I'm sorry. Let me explain a bit. So right now I'm in Utrecht, so in Holland, and then the last 2 weeks I had the two camps, Invictus camps in Belgium at Anno CrossFit. And then so to recap, so we had the CrossFit Games. Before the CrossFit Games, I had my first Strongfit seminar ever in Torrance, right? So we did the 2 days, then we did the CrossFit Games, another seminar in Torrance, another Strongfit seminar in Torrance. Then I went on vacation. That was my first vacation in 7 years since I opened the doors of my gym. So I'm a slacker, but I did earn that one. And so I went to Mexico with my daughter. We went to Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, and everything, which was it wasn't bad. I don't know if you guys saw the picture, but it was all right. Then after that, I went straight to Belgium near Brussels in Rochefort for the first Invictus camp. Then from there, I spent 5 days in Paris, came back for the second Invictus camp, and I just landed in Holland. So I've been slacking off on the videos, that's true, but overall I had good reasons. So this is the first time I've been able to spend so much time, like really first vacation in Mexico, but really overall with my daughter that much. Like so I went to Paris, right, and I went to my first school where I was from kindergarten to about 12 years old. And to be able to show that to my daughter and to see the look on her face when I show her my kindergarten room, basically, where I used to study, which hasn't changed, I swear, in so what, 35 years? It looked like he didn't change. That was priceless. I took her to where I grew up. It's called Rue des Canettes, near the Saint-Sulpice Church. So we walked everywhere, like it's Paris. So we basically walked from one side to the other and everything. I took her everywhere. And so I left France in 98. I've been there like twice since then only, and for very short amount of times. And to be able to take my daughter through Paris, walking, showing her all the place where I grew up, where I used to play and do stupid things as a kid and all that stuff, man, that was priceless. And the look on her face as I showed her all that, it was great, because she, she's 11 now, and so really I haven't had vacations barely since she was born. First, I was broke as hell when I made it back to the States in 2005. Took us a while to make any type of money, really, so forget vacations. And then after that, I opened the gym, and then things got super busy and everything. So that was really our first time enjoying life like that. I mean, she's very happy, so she's always enjoying life. But the vacation alone in Mexico was awesome, because the water was crystal clear. We went on boats, catamaran to just go snorkeling and stuff like that. We went into like eco parks, like natural park that they have in the Yucatan Peninsula, which were really awesome. And so it was, to be able to do all that with my daughter was just those are good moments, like it's not, because I raise her by myself, so it's not always the easiest thing. Preteen, or to all the dads out there, good luck, and they're telling me it's gonna get even better, so I just can't wait for the next few years. I might freeze her in a coma or something until she's 20, but whatever. That'll be, if you don't hear from her, that's probably what happened. But it's been the last few weeks have been awesome, and so I did slack off on the videos though. So speaking of this, so I'll do. So now my team is. We talked a lot. So I have actually another addition to the team now. That's Wendy from CrossFit Vero Beach, who handles all the logistics and everything. She came to me because her husband Greg did the coaches week and everything. So she's handling all the logistics. So now my job is really going to do all the vlogs and the coaches week, the seminars, and handle just the coaching aspect of Strongfit, where I have much better people than I am at organizing things, doing all that stuff. So the vlogs are back. It'll be every Wednesday. I'll post a video and everything, a vlog about, well, right now for the next few weeks, it'll be about the seminars in Europe. And it's very interesting. Culturally speaking, it's very different. Like what people want out of the seminars in the States and here is totally different things. So I'll talk about all this, but it's very interesting to see CrossFit here in Europe, like how they see it, because for example, we'll talk about this, but for example, there was for French-speaking countries like Belgium, that part of Belgium, and France, they don't really understand CrossFit well because they don't, since they don't speak English or don't want to. They have the only vision they have of CrossFit is through social media, Instagram, and then the presentation of the CrossFit Games. And so I found it fascinating to see how they see CrossFit and CrossFitters, because it was there's work to be done there because it was pretty far from reality. So that was very interesting. And so they came to the camp less to train, more toward learning really what CrossFit is and things like that. So it was fascinating to see the difference between the States and here in that aspect. So to give a little overall on what's going to happen. So I'm gonna keep doing the vlogs, right? Once a week, I promise. It's I'm on a schedule now when they put me on a timer on that one, and then I'm also going to do a vlog in Portuguese because that's the thing I discovered at the camp, is the fact that not everybody speaks English or want to. Is really hindering their developments as CrossFitters and coaches in certain places. And so I'm going to try to do I'm going to do my vlogs in Portuguese and in French now as well, so we can try to increase the reach of all this to many different people. And so there will be that one vlog every Wednesday, and then during the week I will do one in Portuguese and one in French. So overall, I'll do some Q&As for French-speaking and Portuguese-speaking people. So you can ask me at first the questions you want me to answer first, because I realize the audience in the States will have, or even England, will have a totally different set of questions than the one in France and Portugal. So we'll have one in 3 languages, and I'll ask Richard to do the same thing in Spanish, Castellano. So we can start to be of more help to people throughout Europe and South America and places like that. So that's going to be really cool, and that's really my next project. And after that, obviously, there are all the seminars, the coaches week, and everything. So here in I saw that like for Belgium and in Paris when I went there and I trained. I'm going to do seminars and coaches week in France and Belgium, and I'm also going to help the coaches with how to program, and that notion of intensity that they don't quite understand. Like everybody understand the intensity of CrossFit in the States because we started with it, so that was kind of easy. We saw the progression, but the problem I think is like in Europe, you see that they landed late in CrossFit, and so by that time they already had the hero workouts, and then by the time the CrossFit had already such a high volume of training. So they jumped into a volume that was way too high from the beginning, and the intensity took a dip. They never had the time to understand the concept of the short CrossFit workout, Grace, Fran, and everything, where you have to create such a high intensity. And so I see a lot of people here that have programmation with a fairly high volume, but everybody's pacing like crazy. The intensity is nowhere near where it should be. Like I saw some workout where I felt I could jump in and win. I mean, which I should not beat any CrossFitter at conditioning. My thing is being strong, God, conditioning, and is, like if you put me anything outside of 4 minutes, I'm in trouble. So there's some work there to be done for Europe at that level, and yours truly will do his best to fix that. So let's go back since the last vlog. What happened? I had the 2 seminars, right, in Torrance, and I will talk about all this for the next vlog. Right now, I just want to talk a little bit about the CrossFit Games. I know we're already like a month removed, but so you guys know all the results and everything. I'll mostly talk about what I saw around and things like that at the games, right? So we got there with the team, so the Invictus team going there, and then we had Lauren Fisher, we had Garrett Fisher, we had Rasmus as part of the people from San Diego entering the games, and also Kristen Holde. That was someone I worked with a lot when she came to San Diego, or through programming at our gym and everything. And so overall, it was a very, very good experience. Kristen did really, really well. I feel she should have finished. She finished 12th, I believe. She should have finished top 8, I think. But she did great. She had really good workouts overall. And then, we also had Sam Dancer, who came to San Diego like in June. So he spent like a month and a half in San Diego in order to train for the CrossFit Games. So I got to finally spend a lot of time with Sam, which I met and worked with at the Invictus Camps before. But this time we actually could work together. So that was a really cool experience. I love Sam. He's a great guy. And so, but Kristen did really, really well. She had some very good workouts. Like, not everybody knows, but she had a partially torn Achilles, like she did in Dubai, so November. And so she couldn't run this year, which is her favorite thing to do. But like the last games murdered her, physically speaking. And I think also mentally, like it took a toll on her. And I told that story, but she does not remember the yoke workout that she finished second on. So she, every time you ask her how it was, she'll go like, "You look good on ESPN." And so it took her a while to recover from that physically and mentally. And then on top of it, she had, after that, going to that competition in Dubai, she had a partially torn Achilles. So it restricted her running a lot and her conditioning, but at least that way we were able to work on her strength a lot. And I think it showed this year where she did very well. But so overall, the placement to me is not really the way I look at it. Like, my thing was, the way I look at it really is when they get to Sunday, when they finish those workouts, did they perform at the level of where they are at that moment? And is there a workout where they were not prepared correctly, where they just one workout kills them and then they sore for 3 days, or suddenly their performance has to drop and everything? And overall, I was very happy because I felt everybody performed well. I mean, you know, with the games, it's like this time it was like 5 days in a row and everything, and the workouts were so different. That is not something we can control. I mean, the workouts are going to be what they are. Sometimes they work for you, sometimes they don't. And so I never truly look at the placement. Honestly, for me, personally, I mean, as a coach, but even personally, what I was really happy to see during the games was the look on the athlete's face on Sunday, going into the last workout. That's always, for me, the best sign. And Lauren had a huge smile on her face. Kristen was the happiest I've seen her personally. Garrett was, great place. Rasmus seems, he did great. Close to the top 20 for his first CrossFit Games was really great. And they were in a good place mentally, in a good place physically, and they went out there and performed to their best. I mean, it was those two workouts were hard, especially with the board, but they were in a very good place physically and mentally. And that, to me, honestly, is what makes me happy. Like, what I want from my athletes is to be able to perform to the best of their ability the day off, and mentally and physically feel like they are able to. If I get that, honestly, I feel I've done my job and that they were prepared correctly. After that, results, that honestly, there's nothing we can do about this. But like Kristen was so when she was done with the whole thing, she walked back in and she had a huge smile on her face, and she was like, "I want to go back to train tomorrow." And no, not the day after, obviously, but she was in such good place, physically and mentally, that to me, it was a huge victory. Something was Lauren. She was like, "I'm happy. I want to go back to training." You could see the fire in all of them and everything, and that was awesome. That made me very happy. It felt like we did a great job at preparing them. Where I guess I look at it from as I'm getting older. Like I look at all this, even my coaching responsibility is a little bit different. Everybody wants to win, obviously, and I want my athletes to win because I want them to be happy. So I want them to take first place. I want them to crush every workout and everything. But I look at it now because you get involved so much with your athletes and everything. They're friends. They're people really care about a lot, and just seeing that look of happiness on their face when when they're ready mentally and physically to go in those workouts without fearing like they're gonna get crushed, they're gonna get rhabdo or heat strokes or stuff like that, and be in such a dark place, is just to see them coming out of the CrossFit game in such a good place mentally. That feels like a tremendous victory to me. Like where that's because that's basically succeeding at more than the games, just succeeding at life. Now, I mean, like they're in that place where they feel they can push as hard as they want to and everything. That was great to see for all of them, like how much they put into the games mentally and physically, and then they finished, they're not hurt. Nobody was injured outside of Sam, but I'll talk about Sam in a little while. It was great to see them in such a good place, all of them, and I feel like that was a great success because like succeeding in life is, to me, it's really that. Is if you're in a good place, especially mentally, and like you give your best at something, and you feel like what, that's what I had to give. I gave that. I did my best. I prepared well, and I give it to the best of my ability. That's if you do that over the long run, I can't imagine how you would not do well. And so that's what I felt. Everybody in Invictus gave is the best to their ability, according to their preparation and everything. And I felt that was a huge victory. The only person who could not do that, unfortunately, was Sam. Sam trained excessively hard, probably the hardest he's ever trained, going into the CrossFit game. But unfortunately, he had a stress fracture on his leg. And I don't know if you guys know this, but like it was probably a few days. He already had a stress fracture on that leg. He had broken an ankle and sprained the other one really badly. So his calves are really tight, and so even a few days before the game, he was complaining of some pain on that leg and everything. And so they did like some stairs with a weight vest, and it's very possible he hurt himself slightly then. But no matter what, that first workout in Aromas on Wednesday, just that run just for sure created a stress fracture, and so he spent the entire games on a broken leg. I can tell you, as a friend, forget coach, just as a human being to another and as a friend, seeing him doing the box jumps and all that stuff, that was hard. I was so afraid of him like actually really messing up his leg. And it was, just as a person watching a friend compete in those conditions, it's very rough. And then we had the discussion where I was like, dude, you're okay, right? You're not gonna do more damage. And I was like if we were the other way, like if I was the one competing like this, what would you tell me? But he was like, yeah, I understand, but this is not an ego trip. I want to finish the games, and I will make sure I don't hurt myself badly. But he was like, okay. He wanted to finish the games, even on one leg, and I thought he did. He had some really good workouts, and that was 5 days of the CrossFit Games like this on a broken leg. My God, that guy is tough. He didn't enjoy himself more. Stress fracture is there now. He's basically wearing a boot, and it's healing and everything. But man, that dude is a tough dude. That's for sure. Like entire CrossFit game, a broken leg. Oh my God. But so that's why if some of you saw him and he didn't perform as well as you thought he would, that's because he did everything on a broken leg. Not an easy thing to do. But so that was basically at the games, and it was really cool because I got to talk to a lot of coaches out there, because we were there coaching the masters as well and everything. I got to talk to a lot of the cool athletes, talking a little bit about the clean with the axle for the masters, because that was kind of a hard movement. A few of them hurt themselves actually on it. And so I got to spend time talking to Jason Layden from CrossFit Milford, Annie Sakamoto. Actually, I got to talk to her a bit more. So I got to spend Ron Ortiz. I got to spend some time talking to everybody and showing a few things about strongman movement and everything. That part, like in the athletes warm up and all that stuff, is really cool when you get everybody outside of the people's eyes just warming up or stuff like that. That's always a great interaction. And so those were cool games. It wasn't as bad physically as last year because there was no Murph in the sun, let's be honest. That had nothing to do with intensity, what happened last year. It was just noon on a Friday on an excessively hot day. You know what I mean? And so this year, I felt the athletes could compete more to their ability and everything. So those were that was a very good CrossFit Games. I was very happy overall. As always, the community is always cool, and all the coaches like that, all the athletes in one place. It's quite an event. It was really cool, and overall, I'm very happy to see how happy and mentally ready all the athletes and physically ready all the athletes were. So it was a great time. Like I spent the entire week, with Invictus at the hotel with the entire Invictus team and everything. It was the first time I spent, because last year I was there too, but I wasn't like part of the team yet. So this time I spent the entire week at the hotel with all the team, like on a daily basis and everything. That was a really cool experience for me to be like that involved with so many athletes at the same time. So great experience. And so that will be it for today. And then on the next vlog, I will talk about the seminars in Torrance, right? How it went, because that's the beginning of Strongfit. How I saw what we can do better, but the evolution of the next evolution of Strongfit. And I will also talk about the first seminar in Europe here, which is in Utrecht. I'm sure I'm butchering the name. In Holland, and the differences between the States and here, and where I think the seminars are shaping up to be here and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm back on track, and I will see you guys every Wednesday very soon.